I thought that I didn't have anything to say yesterday. And here I am today, like, making another video. Can't stop. You get so used to making my little videos talking to Roger Federer every day, I almost can't go without one, huh? But, you know, it's just thinking today started hitting me about all of the history and everything, and, just how much you have really just come, once again, just your difference in the way you were playing at Roland Garros and the way that you're playing now at Wimbledon, how rewarding that's been, and just how rewarding this whole process for you is going to be for just the rest of your career. It's very exciting as a fan, so I just wanted to just say that as well. And this, good luck tomorrow. You know, I'm not going to make this a long video. You know, just acknowledging the fact that, you know, this is almost, how the heck could I not make a video? You know, this is almost like you coming back to full circle, like #1 in the world. How could I just, like, leave this hanging yesterday? So, I don't even know if you're going to get this video, but I'm just sending all of my best intentions out in spirit, I guess you could say. Because I'm sure that tomorrow will be a very big day. And as the day wore on, I was just kind of like, you know, I forgot that, you know, it's like Lendl and Murray or whatever, you know, like, what are those two sitting up there concocting? So I hope that you have, like, a couple of things up your sleeve as well, though I think, though, when you are fully on mentally, there isn't much, you know, it's not like you feel like, oh my gosh, I have to worry, because, you know, you are just so very good at just tailoring your game in the moment and moving things around and switching things up and changing things and trying new different things until you get to what works. So, you know, it's definitely nothing to really worry about, but just whatever Lendl and Murray's strategizing about, you know. Why do I just really feel like Lendl? I don't know why. I'm just going off my gut instinct, so to speak. Why do I feel like Lendl is kind of like figuring out little ways, or trying to anyway figure out, like, little ways to get his little protege. Oh, I shouldn't talk like that. Maybe it sounds a little rude or condescending or something, but I don't mean it like that. But, you know, his protege to his very first Grand Slam title, or major, whatever you want to call it. But whatever they try tomorrow, just make it fail. Whatever they try against you tomorrow, just make it fail, obviously. And I did want to take a moment the other day when I was, gosh, and I was struggling in that video before the semifinal, Joker semifinal and your semifinal. Like, I really had, like, some nice notes written down, but I could not get through those. I couldn't, like, clear my mind, and I just said, like, the most obvious thing, which was, like, something like, you're gonna hold your serve. And it was because my mind went blank. My mind went blank, and I just said anything, and I was just like, damn, that was just so obvious. I just really wanted to kind of put that out there, like, how disgustingly, you know, maybe to the point of even being, like, a little, not insulting, but just to the point of, like, really, really, old world girl, click on your video. If you're gonna sit here and tell me stuff that I clearly know, even if I was in a coma, you know, I know it. But that's why I was, like, just looking at the camera and was ready to turn the video off, because I had made such a stupid comment like that. And how are you gonna win? You're gonna hold your serve. Oh my god. So anyway, I'm just chopping it up and chewing the fat, and I don't know why, because even if you are watching this video, the last thing you have time for is to really sit there on a day of such an important match and hear me chopping it up. But my best of luck to you, my friends. You know, I just feel like, you know, this is, again, like, you know, you coming totally full circle, and I can't wait for tomorrow. I know, I mean, this is so yours more than anybody else, you know. This is so yours, so just you go ahead and take it, you know. And like I said yesterday, I think I wrote this, you know, Murray fans might not like this, but Murray really isn't. I'm sorry, Murray, you know, with all due respect to him as an individual and everything that he's been through, because he did come into this game and he got a hell of a lot of pressure. I'm sure he never, ever, ever asked for any of that pressure, and I'm sure, you know, I'm sure the British tennis community, they didn't mean it. They were just being excited about their countrymen and stuff like that. But he did have a lot of pressure, and he's been through a lot. But I still feel like despite all of that, I don't feel like he's ready to win, and therefore I don't feel like he's the one who's deserving. And I don't want to like confuse the conversation of being like saying he's whether someone deserves something or doesn't, or is good enough for something, and that deserve isn't good enough for it. But I just really feel like this is your time, Roger Federer. Like, you paid your effing dues, you know what I mean? You fought back. You know, I mean, it took a long time. That's why I really feel like you're the one who should win this, you know? It's not to be like should and shouldn't, but you really deserve this. You know, you worked hard all the way through. And then when I see Murray just now getting motivated because Rafa got knocked out on his side of the draw, like, it just annoys me, you know? And it's not that it personally annoys me, but it's just like, really? You know, like, if Rafa were there, you'd still be playing small. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have been as motivated unless Rafa got knocked out of that side of the draw. And I totally get, you know, Rafa even somewhere, I forget, does Rafa have a blog that he writes or something? Because I don't know if I misread that, but somebody said, like, in his blog or his column, maybe he's like a guest columnist somewhere, or maybe I totally misunderstood that, but that he said, congratulations to Andy Murray or whatever. And I'm sure you guys, just knowing how it is on tour, just knowing how it is with that grind and the press and the criticism and then the accolades and then all of the people who admire you some of the time, you know, they're there, and then the other times they're not there. Like, I mean, that's a lot of emotional stuff to juggle. And then the pressure from your own countries and stuff like that, you know. So I could see, like, how people could, you know, how, like, Nadal or someone else, you know, you as well, who have spoken nicely about Andy, you know, thinks that he would deserve something like this. And as well, you know, he grinds out there, because there's a lot of players who drop off tour, too. And you see it, like, the way this tour is, like, you do have to have a certain mental resolve, you know. And you see these guys, like, you know, a lot of these guys who have a lot of talent, but they don't have it. It's like the combinations. It has to be like that perfect storm, of mental resolve, of physical talent, of a certain sound, personality, and stuff like that. But anyway, I feel this video's running away from me. I was trying to keep it really short, so I'm gonna just try to come back in here. And yeah, so I can see why you guys are happy with Murray. I mean, look at Soderling. Like, Soderling was such a promise, and I don't know what's going on with him. Was he injured at one point or whatever? But then, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks ago, he sent out a tweet, you know, to follow him on Twitter, and he sent out a tweet saying something about, thank you guys so much for all your inquiries. I'm doing really well, or, you know, some kind of vague but polite response as to why he hasn't been on tour and stuff like that. And you look at not only the men, but some of the women, like the way Justine Henin just decided, like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, you know, that constant pressure every month, and especially if you're a top athlete, like, to be able to maintain that #1 thing. So I could kind of, you know, understand, like, some of these guys really drop off the tour, and you can understand the combination of elements within the tennis season, the length of it, the blah blah blah, you know. I'm so trying to really get my point across and hurry up. And you could kind of see why some people end up sort of dropping off or retiring or just stepping out, you know, whether it's pressure or the length of the season or just, you know, and I'm just talking about the talented players, the really, really exceptionally, the highly talented players. But, yeah, so I can see why people would be happy for Murray. But, you know what, Murray's got to really, I feel like Murray has to really earn You know, he's got to toe the line a little bit. If you want this, you know, you should be grinding for it. Like, he should have been grinding for it when Rafa was still in his draw, not all of a sudden getting all motivated. You know what I mean? So, and I really don't care what anybody thinks. He's not that motivated. He's not. So, anybody can sit here and write to me, because I will write back to you and tell you he's not motivated, okay? So, I feel like this is your time, Roger, and yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed about it, slightly, not annoyed where it's bothering me in my life, but I'm just talking about it right now, like, really, you know, Murray hasn't been stepping into his full potential, and it's not to say, like, oh, I you know, me as an individual sitting here, you know, with judge and jury and executioner or whatever, you know, I'm not saying all of that, but just, you know, I would like to see him step it up a lot more, just step into who he really is as a player, and then we could talk about winning the Grand Slam. But we'll see what he does tomorrow, but I hope, Dan, for sure, you really just disarm him, stop him. And I really enjoyed the Australian Open 2010. I have to tell you. Do you remember? Oh, my God. Oh, you might not have even noticed this, but you had actually, Murray had been playing so hard against you. He'd been serving. I don't... You know, serving so hard, trying to play against a Roger Federer. And this is what I truly believe, but most people don't notice, like, really, a lot of us don't notice, like, how much effort it really takes to play a player of the caliber of Roger Federer. That's why you see, like, at first people are doing well against Roger Federer, and then they kind of decline, and then, you know, they just kind of burn out. But, you know, I don't think any of us who don't step on that court against a Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal or even a Djokovic, you know, will ever really know, like, the quiet strain of it all. You know, we just see it, and you guys a lot of times make a lot of things look easy. And I know somebody said the other day, here we go, we're 11 minutes, and I could just talk. I guess that is what it is. But, yeah, you know, the other day somebody said you did an amazing, was it a backhand volley? And someone was saying, was it even Nisevic? I don't know who was commenting, or whatever. I can't remember now. No, it wasn't even Nisevic, because he was at the match. It was someone else. But anyway, so they were saying, man, that's such a hard move, that volley that Roger Federer just did. And it was really hard, really hard. Like, they were emphasizing it, and they like, he just made it look so easy. And I can't tell you how many commentators have always said how easy you really make a lot of tennis moves look. Like, you make it look so easy. So, again, back to the other players, like, you can understand, like, the internal strain and just the constant, like, having to raise the game up to a high level and play it in that higher level just to keep up with the Roger Federer, you know, and other, you know, just the top 3 elite at the least. I mean, yeah. So yeah, it's the Australian Open 2010, actually, Murray was serving, I think he was serving quite hard, and I think the push-off, you know, the fact that he was probably nerves, and also the strength of which he was, like, pushing off his I think it was his right foot in order to serve or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it put a hole in his shoe. I was like, damn, playing Roger Federer, just burning holes in your shoes. I will never forget that. Like, I thought that was so funny. Not that it happened to him, but just the whole thought of, you know, what playing Roger Federer must be like. I was like, if that's doing that to his shoe, imagine how it's wearing on his brain and his body playing against Roger Federer. So, anyway, listen, good luck tomorrow. I hope you burn another 2 holes in his shoe. And, you know, I feel like Murray's trying to become a little more human, but I just really feel like he alienates the public a lot with his attitude. You can see, like, a lot of people in UK just freaking hate him. Oh my gosh, I can't even, like, really, I can't believe I just really said that, but it's true. I mean, the way people from the UK just trash him so badly, you know, or whatever, and I don't know, he just, one time I just saw him on this talk show or whatever, and he was just completely miserable. He was not at all cordial. It was so unbelievably awkward, and just, it wasn't even awkward, but it was just like, it was just really like some damn nerve, like to sit on a talk show and just be in this completely miserable F you and F the world mood. And it's not to say you never know what someone personally is going through, but I just think it, you know, Murray just, he really rubs a lot of people the wrong way. I'm sure that you know, personally he's probably a very nice person, you know, and I don't want to claim to know him, but, you know, I don't know, just, you know, he just needs to pull it together. He gave you a really nice compliment the other day, which was very nice. It's just, I feel like maybe that's his tiny effort to start, like, you know, seeming like the ice is melting kind of thing, and starting to connect with people in the public a little bit better. And then, I thought I saw somewhere on Twitter he was giving Serena Williams as well some very nice compliments, which, oh my gosh, Serena Williams has such an excellent day today. And oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You know, it's like the golden age of Wimbledon. You know, it's like Serena or Venus wins on a Saturday morning. Had a perfect Saturday morning today. And then Roger Federer on Sunday wins Wimbledon and sends me off on a perfect Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to that. The girls have held up their bargain, so I'm just waiting for you to hold up yours. And just know, as usual, I am always the Roger Federer fan first and foremost, and wish you the absolute best. And just, again, as we go on in this morning, hopefully you'll see this video. I'll just keep hope alive. And yeah, so just that last questions, you know, just kind of like, where does Murray break down in his tennis matches, you know? And in case Murray's looked at where he breaks down and all the mistakes he's made in the past, and his vulnerabilities and weaknesses, just have a backup plan in case he's like plugged those holes, if you know what I mean. So yeah, just have an emergency escape plan. It seems to me like you don't really like to map out a plan, and I mean, I don't want to say a plan, but I know in your interview, I just saw an interview today where you said that you didn't really go into the match against Djokovic with a real, like, solid game plan. So I appreciate that, you know, or whatever. And it's very interesting to hear you talk and to be educated about tennis, because you're so detailed when you talk and stuff like that. So it's really also very fun to hear that. But even if you don't, you know, really get into like a, you know, some sort of rigid plan or whatever, I think always a good strategic backup is nice. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you what's best for you. Obviously, you know. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's easy for me to talk for like 18 minutes. It's unbelievable. I've never even known that I could sit somewhere and talk like straight for 20 to 50 minutes, like la 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 la. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, sort of. Yeah, so I hope you have your little get out of jail free card against Murray in case things get really intense, and that way, you know, you have a little bit of a strategy in place, just to pull yourself out of any holes or anything like that. And yeah, you and I will continue to cordially disagree on the fact that you want to, when you run up to the net, that you kind of like flick the balls or whatever, or hit the ball and doesn't have any real speed on it, and then the opponent ends up like running up to the net and winning the point. This ball doesn't have any speed on it. So you and I will just continue to cordially disagree on that. Anyway, I wish you the best, my friend. I could talk forever. Really, really could. It's so fun. It's a lot of fun. I think in this world, you know, finally, in this world, this may be a really mean thing to say, but you get to talk to a lot of people you don't want to talk to, a lot of people you don't want to know. And so, you know, for me, these videos are kind of cool, because it's kind of like, you know what, I want to talk to who I want to talk to. Some, you know, accomplished, smart, you know, and I'm sure you're a human being with your own pluses and minuses, just like me with my own pluses and minuses and anyone else. It's not to say that one is better than the other, but I just figure, you know what? I just want to talk to who I want to talk to. So, have a good one. Good luck. And I'll see you at championship point, my friends. That's the most exciting part of Wimbledon to me. Right that moment at championship point, and then you take that championship point, and that's what's even the cherry on top. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.